The MPC, as a matter of responsibility, has filed 2 suits with the Supreme Court of Liberia. Suit number 1, it's about a McDaniels compelling the government of Liberia to appoint an ombudsman. Since the Freedom of Information Act was passed a couple of years ago, the office of the ombudsman remains vacant. It's very important during this period. As you very well know, you saw members of the EPS marching with the president in partisan uniform. You might probably see government vehicles being used for partisan purposes. During our previous elections, members of the opposition community have asked to use public buildings. We were refused. And so if there is no ombudsman, it makes it difficult and or impossible for us to report these violations to. And since we anticipate there's going to be lots of these violations, it's become important for us to compel the establishment or appointment and confirmation of an ombudsman that we will report to. And so when you're done, we share with you. A hearing will be done on March 16 and 17. There are 2 suits. So the first suit is that of the ombudsman, which is a McDaniels. So that case will be heard at the Office of the Justice in Chamber on March 16. Then on March 17, a second suit was filed. The second suit has to deals with the Office of the Speaker, the Office of the Deputy Speaker, and the President pro tempore of the Liberian Senate. Within the budget, you have the President pro tempore accessing the office of the President pro tempore is 1.9 million allotted to his office. We are saying that this is illegal. The Speaker's office, 2 million. The Deputy Speaker office, 1.5 million. So what we will do for you, ladies and gentlemen of the press, is to help you appreciate the basis of our action. There are total in the budget. Let me just open that page of the budget. Just bear with me a little bit. So in the budget, you have a page of the budget. So the budget says the total number of employees at the legislature or personnel, let me not say employees, is 1,530. So of this 1,530, if you deduct the 103 persons that are members of Parliament, members of the Senate, and the House of Representatives, it means you have 1,427 persons left that are employees. Now, let's go to their wages. If you look here, you have, just 1 minute, multiple pages. So you have the total basic salary for the entire House of Representatives is 9 million. I hope you could take some notes because I'm just speaking extemporaneously. So it's 9,032,164. If you divide this by 12, you're going to get 752,680 per month. If you divide this by 1,427 employees, you're going to get $527, which is the range, as you all know, of the various people working at the legislature, at the House of Representatives. Then you have for elected officers. In the budget, 2023 budget, it says 7,506,625. If you divide this by 73 representatives, right? You will have 102,832 per month, which is the total pay. If you divide this by 12, you're going to have $8,569, which is the range of what every representative make. Now, the Constitution clearly discourages and dissuades people from getting double pay. You very well know the Minister of Transport is a member of multiple boards, and he chairs multiple boards. You also have the same with the Minister of Finance, Minister of Commerce. They're not being paid separately by serving on those boards. But what is reflected in the legislature's budget, even though the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, and the President pro tem are being paid separately. If you go to the Senate's budget, which we'll go to, they're being paid separately as representatives, but they also have carved another pay for themselves and people in their office, and people probably don't know that. So let's just open that a little bit, and let's go to the budget of the office of the Speaker of the House of Representatives. So office of the President pro tempore. So let's go to the office of the pro tempore. So the office of the pro tempore, what he has done, in spite of the fact that he's already paid under the Senate's budget, what he's done, he's allotted $1.9 million to himself. Out of this money, let me tell you what the gentleman did. He also saved $595,885 for people working in his office. But these people are already covered under the legislature's budget. So now what you got 595,854. Divide this by 12 months. It means 49,000 goes to people working in the Speaker's office, the President pro tempore office, even though they already paid under the legislature's budget. So in our mind, this money goes to the Speaker, the President pro tem again. Then the President pro tem under his budget has salaries for elected officials. So he has here compensation employees. Let's come to the breakdown here. Sorry. So let's come down. Office of the President pro tempore. He has salaries for elected officials. He has 254,250. If you divide this by 12, it means the President pro tempore of the Senate get, besides the 15,000 that they get in their budget, he gets an additional $21,821. If you take this out of 341,604 that he has under his budget, divided by 12, that's another 28,000 that goes to the President pro tempore again, which shouldn't be the case. This money can be used to help the development of education. We can take this money and spend it on improving education at the University of Liberia. But let's go further. If you come again to the office of the President pro tempore budget, it's going to surprise you to know that foreign travel, means of travel, all of these allotments are already under the budget of the legislature. But what he's done, he's allotted different money under his own budget for travel, for all these different things. So the Speaker's budget is totally different. Then let's go to his operational fund, which will surprise you greatly. So the operational fund here, for 1 second, just go to that sheet. A lot is happening in our country with individual people. The budget is a law. But yes, the budget is a law, but it doesn't give people the right to assign money to themselves because they are passing the budget. And that's why political parties need to collaborate so we can correct some of these abnormalities that are happening in our society. So let me just give you Office of the Deputy Speaker, Office of the President pro tempore, Office of the Speaker, hold on 1 minute, Office of the Speaker, Office of the pro tempore, House of Senate. Need to get a pro tempore budget quickly. I want to show you the operational fund that's in that office. Okay, Office of the President pro tempore. So what we have for the Office of the President pro tempore, the President pro tempore has under his office is operational. He has, what they have done, they've done two things. legislative committee hearing on the speaker. So what it did previously in the last budget, he had $1.3 million in his budget for operational expenses. Today, they created a new budget code 263645, legislative committee hearing, and put $1,137,557. The government of Liberia is already paying you. It's providing you money for transportation, providing you fuel, providing you internet, provided you, constituency meeting, operational expenses, entertainment, everything. Then honor your budget again. You say legislative committee hearing, $1,137,537. All of this money is money that could actually help health and help our poor people. So let's look at the speaker's budget. What does he have in his budget? But before I go to the speaker, let me deal with the House of Senate. So the House of Senate, we have 30 senators, right? So the 30 senators, let's take it that, let's take the 30 senators and take their pay here. Elected officials, we have 3,319,265 divided by 30 senators. We give you $110,000 per annum divided by 12 months. We give you $9,220 per month, which is the basic influence of salary to make. You put all the other perks that deals with gasoline and all the fuel and all of the allowances. That's what takes it to about $15,000. This is the basic they make. So if you want to get the real pay of people working at the legislature, you have to take the total number of them. So what the budget has done, it took 1,530. If you minus that 1,530, you minus the 103 that are elected, you're going to be left with 1,424. If you add the 4 million under the Senate and the 7 million under the House of Representatives, then you will be able to get what an individual makes. So these individuals are already paid. So let's now go under the office of the Speaker. His budget is 2 million. 2,075,000. Now let's see the breakdown of that 2,075,000. So under the office of the Speaker, what he's also created, he divided the money also. It doesn't look big. So he got $400,000, 763 under his office for civil servants. But civil servants are already accounted for under their budget. So this money goes to him as a person. Then also, he has $245,540. If we divide this by 12 months, it means the Speaker get another $20,000 plus this $400,000 a year. So you get $20,000 per month, which translates to $245,000 plus this $8,000 that he gets from the regular budget, which takes it to about $29,000. Then you take this $400,000, you divide it by month, $400,000 divided by 12 months, then he gets another $33,000 a month again. So if you add all of this together plus another $23,000, you're talking, you're talking 400,000, divided by 12 plus this 29,000, which translates to about $62,000 that the Speaker office gets per month just for compensation. That's double P. Plus, I'm not even done. Plus, add the $8,500 that he gets from the budget. That's $70,866. So, we're asking the court to place a prohibition on the budget until these amounts can be wiped out of the budget and re-allotted to areas of need. But let's compare something. If you look at the Chief Justice and the Associate Justices, they don't get this kind of opportunity. Their budget is so dry because they are being paid. And the law says you can't get a double pay. So somebody cannot say, oh, because I'm not just a judge, I'm an associate justice, so I'm entitled to all of these hefty amounts. And the same thing goes for the office of the Deputy Speaker. If you go to the office of the Deputy Speaker, he gets an allotment. It was previously 1.5, now he gets 1.2 million under the 2023 budget. So what he's done, He's broken it down into two. Into $218,000, that money goes to him. Another $208,000, that money also goes to him. So that's about $470,000 that goes to him. Plus his legislative committee hearing money. First it was under the operational fund. They move it to legislative committee. He gets $706,000 per annum. What is the meaning of all this? And that's why we're challenging these kinds of things. These are the money that our people are deprived of. When you Speaker of the House of Representatives or Deputy Speaker or President Pro Tem, it does not attract a special budget. Because you're being paid. You're just cheering. It's not a special work that you're doing. And so if a finance minister says, oh, I'm chairman of the board of this other institution, or the transport minister say this, or the education minister say I'm chairman of the board of NCHR or something, then I need a special pay. It doesn't just add up. So we're challenging these figures, and that's why we've asked the court to kind of look into them. And so what the court has done, before issuing the rate, the court has invited them to show cause why these rates should not be issued. And so you will be welcome to follow it at the Supreme Court on the 16th of March and 17th of March. These cases will be looked at. The other thing that's of importance to us, I spoke about that briefly the other day, is the issue of our elections. So the MPC again is leading the path, and we want to gather signatures so that census can be dumped. I wasn't checked. A lot of people said they weren't checked. A lot of you here said you weren't checked. So who did they check? How did they come up with 5.2 million people? How did they come up with a growth rate in those counties? We need to, as the opposition, be very active in challenging these things. We cannot wait on the day of final poll tally and say, oh, there was cheating. So what the MPC is doing is taking the lead, and we're calling other political parties to join us in the process of working together. And let's be realistic. No political party has the financial might and will to send poll watchers or to deploy poll watchers throughout this country. It's not possible. It takes a lot of money. Even if you agree on a $10, somebody else could give $50. All right? And so we saw that in Lofa, and we saw that the party, Unity Party, could not deploy those number of poll watchers to actually check. We don't want those repeats. We have to be able to actually put ourselves in a position to collaborate. Let's forget about the issue of who's vice president, who's president. Let's deal with the issue of these points of commonality. We can hold the government accountable for issues of McDamus to appoint ombudsman. We can hold the government accountable for these kinds of censuses that don't speak to our true number as a nation. We can hold the government accountable to learning this whole biometric system. How is it going to be deployed? How is it going to work? We've heard noise out of Nigeria. Can we learn from that? So if we leave all of these points of commonalities and don't work together, now we're trying to launch this issue of the signatures to be able to silence that whole census so that they can actually spend the money that should have been spent to have a proper census. Then we need to collaborate. Political parties coming together. Like I've also said, political parties need to come together. If any member of the opposition, it will be difficult for them to attack me or to attack any of the other lead candidates. But it will be easier for them to attack our foot soldiers. If any of our foot soldiers are attacked, what we can do, we can encourage a whole lot of alternative actions that will make a ruling establishment say, well, you know what? These guys are together. They're too strong. We can fight them. So we have to play clean. And as soon as and so long as we can get them to play clean, we'll beat them to the clean game. But if we stay apart and we're not speaking with each other, we're not talking to each other only because we have not resolved the issue of who's vice president, who's president, then we're leaving the core issues that could enable our defeat, and we're leaving it to chance, and we're celebrating those small differences that we have. And I'm even of the mindset, as we talk more and more, we'll be able to resolve the issue of who's here, who's not here, and build a grand coalition that will drive this country forward. And so the MPC is working. We have spoken to other people. I'm not going to say who have spoken with, and we're going to continuously talk to people. And I'm sure in the coming days we see some kind of coalition emerge. It may not be in the shape and form that you wanted in the beginning, but we're very sure that it's going to be a coalition that work together to challenge all of these critical issues that are of concern to the body politics of Liberia. So MPC has taken the lead, and we'll be encouraging other political parties to join us in this suit so that we can silence this spillage and wastefulness in our government moving forward. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Open to questions. Will be conducted by Mr. Ballon.
At least 2 questions. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman. I'm T. Williams, and I report for Focus on Liberia Online Television Network. 2 quick concerns. You made several revelations, and I'm here concerned about the authenticity of those revelations, particularly those figures you mentioned. How authentic are those figures, and where did you get all of those information? The next thing is the issue of the census. On the day of the pronouncement, all of our partners internationally express explicit confidence in the sense that you are here condemning it. How do you reconcile that?
Thank you. So where did we get the figures from? From the budget, the 2023 budget, the budget of the Speaker, Pro Tempore, and Deputy Speaker are all listed there. So what we do, we give it to one of our guys, and he will send it to you via email because they're all highlighted. So you will see here what we've done, for example. We've show you something here. We have, like you see here, we highlighted right out of the budget. You can see this is the Liberia budget. We didn't create it. So you see here, these are the figures. So they're all right there, right in the budget. So we email it, we highlighted it already, we email it, and it will be sent by our people, and they can share with you guys. You can see all the highlights and see the figures yourself. The number of employees at the legislature didn't come from us. It's right here in the budget. It says 1,530. The number of employees, as you can see here, legislature. You see here, we highlighted it for you. 1,005 national legislature. So that's the entire House of Senate. So you see all these figures are there. You don't have a financial and economic background, so you wouldn't be able to pick them up. So we've picked them up for your easy consumption. The partners express explicit confidence. In the end, let me put a question to you. Haven't you spoken to a lot of people in Monrovia that were encountered? We're having a dialogue, but don't smile behind the camera. You've spoken to a lot of people that were not counted, right? So it is one thing for the international community that put their money behind the process. They know how much they've spent to express explicit confidence, and it's another thing, we who are beneficiaries of their benevolence, to be able to say, look, you spend the money, but look, we were not counted. And I think what they want from us, and a lot of them have told me that is, they want us to be loud and say, we were not counted. Then they will have the solid instrument to challenge those who have given them those numbers to say, where did you cook these numbers from? A lot of people say they weren't counted. We have 500,000 signatures already. These people have said they weren't counted. It's a significant number. Even if we can raise 100,000 signatures, that's why we wanted to be an interpolitical party thing, so we can raise a lot of signatures to challenge that, because we cannot take that to the next elections. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is Zach Sherman from KMTV Liberia. My question is, you've been one of the opposition political parties that speak even against other political parties in the opposition community. Now, coming up with an idea or with measures that you think is necessary for the country, how do you think working with them after you've been a little critical on them from the past?
Well, you see, like they say, it depends on how you look at a glass, full or half full. And it brings me to this story. There's a story of 2 sons. One, the father was a drunk. One of them doesn't taste liquor, and he's a very successful guy. The other guy is a drunk. And they both gave the 2 answers. why are you successful? He said, my father is a drunk. The other guy that is a drunk, why are you successful? He said, my father is a drunk. Depending on how you look at it. We took an action where we saw a case of inappropriate action against a member of our own. So you see what the MPC does, when our own does something, we say it. We don't hide it. When other people do it, then we also say it. So it makes us what? Authentic. But when our own does it, we close our eyes. When the other people children do it, then we criticize it, then it doesn't make us authentic. So that's why they clearly have seen us as being authentic. You know, instead of seeing us from the standpoint you are probably seeing, they are saying, oh, but this guy is authentic. This party is authentic. They say it when it's wrong, they say it when it's right. See the bold moves we've taken. Because now we've seen inappropriate action and we're challenging that. Mr. Brooks, go ahead.
Yeah, my question has to do with your two lawsuits. What do you hope to achieve?
Simple. We want a money return so that it can be repurposed. 2, we want an ombudsman appointed so the ombudsman can be held accountable and reported to for the violations that we're beginning to see. So for example, if there was an ombudsman, we'll not just be talking on the radio, we have a picture, send it to the ombudsman and say, look, these people in the EPS need to be kicked out of the service. If he doesn't do it, now we have a basis to now take it to the court. But now who do you complain to? So that's the purpose of the code of conduct.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
My name is Aaron Kuban. I work for Spoon TV. Sir, my question is a follow-up to the question Olivier asked. The numbers that you have before you there, as far as many people in the country, including me, are concerned, is that the legislature has not fully passed on to the budget. Besides, they have not gone
I think
to
you're
the
behind the
president.
time. The budget is passed.
They have not gone to the president
Budget is
to
passed.
sign it into law. So when they say those numbers you have are from the draft, how can someone listening to you be more convinced that those numbers are finalized? It may not be the final number in the budget.
The budget is passed. It was passed by a joint session. It's gone to the president, and they've started implementation. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you should go and do your research that it was signed. So the fact that it was signed, the deal is over. So now, it's done. But more besides, it's from the draft budget. Let's assume the budget is not passed. If it's from the draft budget, then it's the budget, it's the figure that's going forward. So in every respect, that's the figure we've taken. But the fact that they've passed it, it means that's the figure. And don't forget, the budget is a law. That's why it's passed. When the law is passed, then they go by it. So we're saying this law, there are violations in the law where certain officials are double paid that shouldn't be double paid and have access to resources that they shouldn't have access to. That's what we're saying.
Just a follow-up question, sir. Just a clarity for the follow-up. The Senate passed the budget with different version, the House passed with different version. There should be a conference committee before they finalize on the budget and take it to the president for final signature for the implementation aspect. But
You're saying clarity like how? I don't understand.
That's the clarity that the budget has not been signed into law by the president. So the numbers you have before you are all from the draft.
Wait a minute. You're saying that the House and Senate committee have not passed it?
The House passed the budget with another figure, 777 million, and the House passed it around 780 something million.
When did that happen?
The House did that on Thursday. I mean, the Senate did that on Thursday.
Uh-huh.
So that means they have not been finalized. There should be a conference committee
Right.
to harmonize all of the variances within
Right.
the budget before
Right.
it's sent to the president.
Right.
So that's the clarity.
Right.
But the follow-up.
So that does not change the fact that these figures have not changed. The figures that I just read to you. If they had changed, then you will have that basis. What's the next one?
The follow-up to my question is there no chance for you to call on the legislature, since in fact they are going to a conference committee, which there could be some adjustment done, rather than taking those figures?
You're not getting the crux of the matter.
Listen,
Listen, John. What's your name?
I'm Aaron from Spoon TV.
Mr. Aaron. You're not getting the crux of the matter. Repeatedly, in every budget, you've had allotment for the office of the speaker, for the office of the president pro tempore. These are not things you know. Let me show you the 2022 budget. Come around so you can see. It's good for you. Or maybe you just stay there. Come.
Yeah,
Let me show you something. you've had these figures repeatedly. So let me just show you that page. So you see, if you look at the 2022 budget, the office, let me open it up. You see the office of the President Pro Tempore. You see 2022 fiscal outing, 2.1 million. That was last year's budget, right? You've always had that. So this is the 2023 budget. You've always had allotment to the offices. So even if we push further, we can demand that the current stock of official pay that money back. They've always had allotment to the offices. So it's not like they were trying something today. They play with the budget. You see? So we always had that. I will show you another amount. The 3.6 million, where each of them were getting 35,000, they moved that to another sector. That's another suit again that's coming up. So we're challenging all of those figures. So it's not like we're cooking up figures. That's why they all highlighted. So clearly, there has always been an allotment. So if during the process of harmonization based on this suit, they wipe everything and say, President Pro Tempore, Speaker, will not get any money, then we will switch to the money they've consumed before. 2022 lapsed, they consumed the money. 2021, they consumed the money. Let me show you the 2021 budget. The same office of the President Pro Tempore. Oops. Sorry, the laptop went off. So he got 1.8 million. I just wanted you to see that. I can show you 2020 budget. There was more money. So there's always been money for them. Always.
Yes, sir.
So you see here? I hope this is a learning curve. Well, every time I tell you, you got by, I love them. So you see? 1.8 million. You see? This is 2021 budget. So they've always done that, which is wrong. You know? And that's why we did a juxtaposition of their budget with that of the Supreme Court, the bench. You have 4 associate justices and 1 Supreme Court justice. I mean, 1 Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. And you look at their budget, their entire budget is just about $60-something thousand. Whereas each leader of the legislature, if you put all of this together, is more than $5 million that's spent on them. That money can change health, it can change education. It can even build multiple houses for our poor people. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I'm Amos Kosao from Fortune TV. Looking at the election in 2023, general election,
Last question.
and then the passage of the budget, and the election also depend on the passage of the budget to operate. And don't you think by putting prohibition on the budget would annect the
No, it wouldn't. There is something called Public Financial Management Law of Liberia, called PFM law, which enables the government under certain circumstances to spend up to 20% of the budget while issues are being resolved. So with this kind of issue, it will be quickly adjudicated by the Supreme Court bench, and the next thing that will happen will be that they will send the budget back to the legislature. They will wipe that amount off, and they would go ahead and pass the budget so that the key sectors that needs to be funded will be funded. Just that simple. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the press, it was nice talking to you. Go ahead, Mr. Brown.
Yeah. Members of the 4th Estate, it's a pleasure having you.